Hello and welcome to Religion and Life. I'm your host, Ozzie Ostwald. There are many student clubs across campus, and the Department of Philosophy and Religion hosts at least three. There's the Pagan Studies Club, the Philosophy Club, and my favorite, the Religious Studies Club. Tonight I have the faculty advisor of the Religious Studies Club, Dr. Gong Mai, and he's going to tell us about club activities and what the club does, and we're going to show some footage from one of the club meetings and just have a good time with it. Welcome, Gong.
Thank you for having me, Ozzie.
Well, first of all, I see that you have your T-shirt on, which says the best undergraduate club on campus. And can we see the back? Or can you do that? All right. So, got some symbols and some iconography on there. So, are you really the best undergraduate club on campus?
We are preferred by 9 out of 10 undergraduates.
Oh, that's okay. And you have a great group. How many normally come to your meetings?
It really depends on the different events that we have. So anywhere from the core group from maybe 5, 6 to 10, 12. And the really big lectures, we get standing room only. So maybe up to 50 or 60.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that tonight when I gave my lecture. What happened? That's okay. That's all right. I wasn't an invited lecturer. So one of the things that impresses me about this club is that you really do focus on education. Mm-hmm. You have invited guests and you have academic presentations. And is that normal for a student club?
I don't think it's that common for student clubs. A lot of the student clubs on campus are kind of focused on different activities and interests. And so in terms of invited lectures or academic topics, I think that Religious Studies Club and Philosophy Club probably are different in that sense.
Mm-hmm. So your co-faculty advisor is Dr. Stephanie Yep. And how did you all come to be advisors for the club, and what does that kind of responsibility look like?
So I started this about 10 years ago when I got here. And it was kind of, I was requested to do it, and it was started maybe 2 or 3 years before that, so altogether maybe 12 or 13 years since. And since I got on board, I wanted to create the club as an opportunity for religious studies majors to get together, create camaraderie, and also explore their different interests and support them in that way.
I think the club was pretty much defunct when you took it over, and you've really kind of led it into a new level of activity. So we appreciate that. It's a great service. Do you, in addition to academic presentations, all right, do you have like advising for majors, what they're going to do after life at Appalachian, or do you give them any direction in terms of how to pursue their majors or to plan out their studies?
So it varies year by year, and it varies according to the cohort too. We haven't had an event like that for a while, but we did have events such as alumni panels, and we had like graduate school application information sessions. And so we could do more of that, but it really depends on the student leaders whom you'll interview.
So is everybody in the club a religious studies major?
Surprisingly not. Over the years, we've had club leaders and club members from throughout different departments. And I can think of, for example, anthropology has been pretty active. History has been active as well.
And I guess minors, maybe attract some minors.
Correct,
and some
minors.
Community people come to hear some of the lectures. And you're the faculty advisor, you and Dr. Yep, but there's also student leadership.
Right.
And what role and we're going to talk to a couple of the student leaders tonight as well. What role do they play?
They play a pivotal role. We like to hand over as much as possible. So they plan events, they decide what they're interested in, and for on-campus invited speakers like faculty on campus, they organize those events too.
Do you get any funding from the university?
Funding is a little strange. We used to have funding from the department, and for various reasons, we've shifted over to funding directly from Club Hub on campus, the Student Activities Board. And so there's a whole process for that, which the club members also take care of. So that's another thing that is helpful for them, so they learn how to request a budget, how to put together a budget, and even get the check and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's good life skills.
That's right, I think
Yeah.
it is.
So there are a lot of groups on campus, I guess, that are faith-based organizations. And this club is quite different from that. Can you describe sort of what distinguishes the Religious Studies Club from say, an InterVarsity or a crew
Right.
club? Yeah.
Right. So we describe ourselves as a non-faith-based academic club who consisting of students who are interested in a whole variety of different religious phenomena or religious-related phenomena. And so our lectures, our talks tend to be from all over different disciplines too. And I think it reflects our department goal in terms of the non-religious study of religion, but also our major's interest as well. And I really enjoy serving as faculty co-advisor because of that, because I can see how we talk about the religious studies major, but when they're in the club, their imagination, their curiosity really shows.
Yeah.
You know, because we have them in class, and so we kind of have them as they have to be there, and they have to show some interest. But when you see them attending a lecture on the Amish, for example,
Right.
and they're really curious, and there's nothing at stake, there's no grading at stake, but they're genuinely curious. That's
Well, that
really
was
nice thing
evident.
to
That was
see.
evident tonight. The questions were great, and students were participating at a level that sometimes we don't see in the classroom.
Exactly.
I guess they're here because they want to be here and they're
Exactly.
interested in the topic. So tonight's topic was Amish culture and religion, particularly in America. What are some of the other topics you've had this semester or will be having later in the semester?
So we have two invited guests. One professor from Chapel Hill who's going to be talking about her research project on a Buddhist pilgrimage site in India, Nepal. We have another invited speaker, a professor from Wake Forest, who will be coming up to talk about Shinto and Buddhist themes in Japanese manga and anime. And I'm pretty sure that one is going to attract a great, huge crowd because there's a lot of interest in Japanese culture and Japanese pop culture over in language and literature. So that helps kind of raise our profile too in the university broadly.
So I've noticed that interest. Where is that coming from, this interest in Japanese culture and anime?
I think, I mean, for undergraduates, it's probably from their own personal encounter with Japanese pop culture. And anime and manga and history and language and literature as well.
Oh.
It's a thriving Japanese language program.
So just to hear you describe this, the topics that the club has taken up or will take up has been all over the place. And I heard you talking to one of the student leaders earlier about a ghost show that we're going to have in this building because you've been hearing some noises in the background.
Yeah.
This building's supposed to be haunted, so maybe we can do that.
I think so.
Yeah, so this is the building where the Philosophy and Religion Department is housed. Your office is down the hall, and the club meets in one of our classrooms. So let's say do you have intention of continuing in this role for the foreseeable future?
I really don't know. I'm open to maybe handing it over to someone else, and maybe see what other people can do, and how they can maybe shape the club in a different direction.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I want to talk to the student leaders as well. Well, thank you for your service to the department and to the club. Good work, and I want to get a couple of your student leaders in here to talk to. So we have a second guest this evening, one of our student leaders in the Religious Studies Club, Gabriel Yetter. You're president, right? So how did you ascend to that esteemed role?
So to begin with, I was good friends with Patrick, the former president, and at the time there were only like 2 other vice presidents, and to be honest, both of them were like leading other clubs. So I was sort of set up to kind of inherit it, but I also was really passionate about religion. I was talking with Dr. Mai recently. I wanted to be a religious studies major before I even got here or even took a class here. So I really cared about like the sort of things we discuss. I've been to pretty much every meeting since my freshman year.
I'm just wondering what your perception is about the difference between the Religious Studies Club and the Pagan Club.
Well, of course, Pagan Club is it's closer to a spiritual like campus organization, but they are run very similarly because paganism is such a diverse religion. It's really more of a group of religions. So a lot of times we will have an educational presentation, sort of like the one we had today about a pagan tradition, or techniques that are used in present-day magical traditions and things like that. So they are more similar than one might think.
Well, Gabriel, we appreciate your leadership in the department and the really good work you do in the classroom. I enjoyed having you as a student. So
I enjoyed your class.
Thank you. It's great to have you around, and thanks for your good work with the Religious Studies Club.
Of course.
And I think your fellow officer, Hannah, is here, right? She's
Yes.
Vice President, so she's going to come in and talk with us as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, this is Hannah Seiler with us tonight. Seiler.
Seiler.
Got it. And you are Vice President of the Religious Studies Club.
One of the many.
One of the many vice presidents.
Yes.
Okay, but you're not a religious studies major. You're a history major, but a religious studies minor.
Yes.
So what drew you from the history department over to the dark side over here?
The most direct thing was Professor Mai's Confronting Death class.
Man, I hear that all the time. That must be a great class.
It's awesome. It's also, it's available for like an elective for non-majors to take it. So I think you have a lot of people who aren't like in the department taking that class. It blew my mind. I love that class.
All right, tell me what blew your mind about confronting death.
I really liked the discussion of death, like not to get too deep, but I was always kind of afraid of death, and then that class kind of put it in perspective for me, and I really didn't have any exposure to any like non-Abrahamic religions up until then, so to learn about like the Buddhist worldview was really cool. And I don't know what this says about me, but learning about Buddhist hell, that's what really got me into it. I liked the idea that you could go to hell but then get out.
And that's Buddhist hell.
Yeah,
okay.
You can get out.
You work your way out from Buddhist hell? How do you get out?
Kind of, it's like you basically go there and like pay off your karmic debt. I'm oversimplifying it horribly.
It sounds a little bit like Catholic purgatory.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah, but it's you, and then it's like you go to a different hell depending on like how bad it is, and this also depends on like what school of Buddhism you're looking at, but the negativity of the hell depends on how bad your karma is, and then you stay there until your negative karmic merit kind of sears off.
Is this your first year of involvement with the club, or were you here last year as well?
Yeah, I was here last year. I became one of the vice presidents second semester last year, so last spring. That's when I became one of the vice presidents. And I had been like in and out of meetings before, but I had like worked, and so I couldn't attend all of them, but then I was like, I'm going to attend all of them.
Hannah, appreciate it. Thank you for staying late tonight, and appreciate all the hard work you do for our department and for the Religious Studies Club.
Thank you for giving your talk tonight.
All right. Thank you. And that's it for Religion and Life for this week. We hope you join us again next week as we continue to explore the world of religion and culture. Until then, this is Ozzy Ostwald.